Every man in America and most of the women out here were impressed by that, even if the women won't admit it.
Clay Travis was over at the University of Chicago, and they were having a sort of, I think they present these sort of two-side debate things. Phoenix, I should get on one of these debates. Let's get me over to University of Chicago to debate some of these people. And he made a point about Trump's masculinity and how that is now translating into something that is kind of pro-America, and you just don't have that on the other side.
Who is the most masculine Democrat right now in America?
And there's
Mayor Pete.
Is that a gay joke?
No, Mayor Pete. No, well, no, it's just that he's not particularly masculine. Nobody's like, oh, Mayor Pete, he's a badass. Chuck Schumer. Is anybody like, hey, Chuck Schumer holding up an avocado and a beer to talk about the Super Bowl? Is anybody like that trying to grill? Is anybody like, hey, that's a dude I want to hang out with?
But Trump's like a grandpa.
Well, hold on.
Yeah.
Trump took a bullet in his ear and immediately stood up and said, fight, fight, fight. Every man in America and most of the women out here were impressed by that, even if the women won't admit it. She's shaking her head strong.
So the reason I wanted to end with that is that what's happening right now is not exactly about politics. First off, I know Clay extremely well. He was not making fun of Pete for being gay. You can be gay and masculine, you can be straight and feminine and all of those things. He's making a broader point that what is happening with Democrat men? Why are they this sort of ineffectual thing that we see on all these, with these MSNBC hosts and CNN people, and Chuck Schumer trying to make a cheeseburger, and Pete, like, why are they like that? And then there's this other group of people who largely now are Republicans who are just men. But what do they mean by men? Like when he says badass, you mean somebody who has a job, who takes responsibility, who wants to protect their family, who has a belief system, who's a good member of the community, who's not endlessly hysterical. I don't know, who maybe can maintain a boner. Like you could throw that in there too. And that's not what the Democrats have. And Trump represents, he represents the individual versus the machine at this point. And I guess right now what we needed were a couple individuals with a little more of that energy.